Sickos only tonight in the house. We are definitely part of the Sickos. What is up, everybody, and welcome to the Losers Lounge. Who would have guessed a Losers Lounge tonight in the Los Angeles? The Clippers. Murray's back. Gordon's back. The whole squad's together. And boy, that game did not reflect that energy at all.
It did for 12 minutes.
Well, it did for a few minutes there. It's always nice when you're going through a hard time to go through it with the fellas. I got Brendan Vogt with me.
Yeah, I'm really excited for this show because that's one that just leaves such a bad taste in your mouth.
We got to get it out.
And you got to work through it. That's what the Losers Lounge is for.
Man, it's so true.
This is not, fellas, I'll go quick on this. This is not a huge loss, big picture, but it stinks. It's a terrible taste in our mouth.
So bad.
And I need this hour with you guys.
I can't wait till I no longer remember this game. Somebody had a stat in here about Jokic. Oh, it was you in 2019 missing. I had to grab the file. It from Sacramento. Don't remember that game at all. Thank God. I can't wait till I forget this one. Harrison wins with me.
I'd like to take some personal responsibility for this loss.
What'd you do?
I feel like I got a little smug. I've been talking down the Clippers for weeks now.
I was with you.
I've been laughing at them. I've been saying they're nothing, which they are. But they can still beat the Nuggets on a historically bad shooting night from Nikola Jokic.
All-timer, man. All-timer. And then, of course, Superstar Dev.
There's no way we forget that one.
You think?
Every dog has his day, man. You just brought up one from the Sacramento Kings long ago. Like, we thought that he was beyond that. But this one you'll think about a lot.
Oh, man, I don't want to have to think about this one, man.
Oh, man, it's crazy.
Let's relive it, shall we? Fast breakdown.
I'm sure your notes are really good on the first quarter.
Well, you know how the first note always tells the story.
Yeah.
Michael Porter Jr. on fire. Kind of is the story.
That should lead to a
kind of
huge
a story.
game from him.
No, he's on fire, you guys. It was a huge game.
Oh, man, they're going to keep feeding Mike.
Nuggets on fire from three. Jokic wheeling and dealing and hitting his threes. Man, the first three notes, all terrible, all not foreshadowing.
Oh, it was about to happen.
Nuggets scoring every single time, 8 of 12 from three in the first quarter, and the Nuggets dropped 36 points, 36-21 at the end of one. Who gets 36 points scored on in a quarter? Pathetic, Clippers.
Who would do that?
Pathetic. Second quarter, bench blowing it.
How bad was it, though?
Really bad. Nuggets were up 15, gone. Clippers go to a zone. KCP had to replace Julian Strawther. Jokic comes back into the game, and in 2 possessions, it was tied. So up 15, all of a sudden it's tied. We've seen this script before, actually, where the bench kind of loses the rhythm and excitement of the game, and then the starters come in and just can't find it again. And then my note, Jokic cold, 9 straight misses. Unbelievable.
That should have been your first
The craziest thing I've ever seen in my life.
First, though. It's not the priority list. It's order of operations. Nuggets made a little run to end. So it actually got worse halfway through the second quarter, and the Nuggets made a run at the end to make it not as bad, and it was 61-57 Clippers. Starters storm back and take the lead, and you think, all right, there it is. They had the second quarter woes, but now you're back into it. Murray started cooking for a hot minute there. You guys remember when Murray got in his bag for a second, reached inside his bag? First subs come in, and all of a sudden the Clippers take the lead again. Jokic still playing weird. Clippers thankfully missing. Is it good Nuggets defense? Certainly from Peyton Watson it was. Reggie hit some big shots to end the quarter, and the Clippers have a 3-point lead, 82-79. All bench lineup to start the second half, or the fourth quarter. All bench, no starters. The defense was incredible from that group, and in particular from Peyton Watson. He's had some doozies defensively. The 4 minutes he played in the fourth quarter, or whatever it was to start, might have been his best defensive sequence, man. It was like 8 plays in a row where he was locking up Paul George with the most impressive defense I've seen in a long time. But nobody can grab a rebound. Clippers are getting 3 chances at a shot every single time down court. And then the Nuggets on the other end were hopeless at scoring, man. They had to rely on Reggie Jackson solely for their points. He did deliver a little bit, but, I mean, it was tough. So you're down 4 with 5 minutes to go. Jokic missed a bunny. Then Jokic missed a 3. Then Murray had a turnover. Nuggets are down 6. And a few minutes later, as the game's slipping away, the ball finds KCP in the corner for a side of the backboard shot.
That's when you knew.
I gave up. I walked. I was like, you know
That's
what? We're
when
done.
you knew.
We're done here.
It was KCP, not Paul George.
It was.
If you can believe it.
Oh, I thought it would never end, boys. What a run it was.
What a run it was. Bizarre game. Start us off, Dev.
This was the narrative game that everyone wanted, everyone needed.
National television.
National television. Jokic looked horrible.
It's stunning
Embiid-
that Mark Jones was not on the call for this.
Embiid
he
had
would've
50
cooked.
points. And have you guys seen Embiid's schedule coming up?
Well, he
No.
plays in the East, Dev.
He has the Hawks, the Wizards,
The Wizards again?
the Pistons, the Hornets, and the Bulls.
I have my conspiracy corner already.
He is about he's about to go crazy. So like this was the MVP like shifting stretch for him, and it starts with this game right here. That was not a great performance from Jokic, and this is just not only for the conspiracy people, but like if you watch that game, you're like, who was that? That was not Nikola Jokic. That was a wild experience because I thought that we were like beyond that. I didn't think we were gonna see that anymore.
I just didn't think it was possible. I didn't think it was possible.
I literally
man.
didn't. I was pretty sure that wasn't possible.
I didn't either. I tweeted this out during the game. It looked like Zubac took Jokic out and was pouring him rakia from one of those unmarked water bottles from your great grandmother.
You're
The
gonna
real
love,
stuff.
You're gonna love this stuff, Yoke. Trust me.
The real stuff. I mean, he looked terrible tonight. This was the worst shooting game of his career.
We all have the same takeaways. We're down so
I mean,
bad.
it's really the only big takeaway from this game. I've got a couple others, actually, but this is the big takeaway. It was the worst game he's probably played in years. And what's crazy is, like, we'll get into how Michael Porter Jr. didn't get any looks and how it was really just the Jokic Murray game down the stretch. I didn't have a huge problem with many of the shots that Nikola Jokic took, except maybe a couple threes. They were usually shots that he just hits.
Right.
I didn't have a huge problem with his shot selection like it seemed like a lot of people did. It was just a weird-ass night.
I generally agree with Wind on this. This is the first time I'm going to do it this year, but I really mean it. I think that was my big takeaway is they need to give Mike the rock more tonight, and only 8 shots. The 2-man game down the stretch, it's tough because that's what they do every time. It works 9.5 out of 10 times. It's a read and react thing. The Clippers weren't helping off MPJ. And like some of those looks are looks that if you said, hey, Yoke gets the ball in this spot, you would take it 100 out of 100 times. So that stuff I didn't mind so much. I thought maybe he could have been involved with the second unit. There were just transition opportunities where I felt like, yeah, pick your head up and figure out where that guy is because he hasn't missed a shot all night. He missed 1 shot. And there have been moments where Mike has been inconsistent too. So it's not just, you guys are holding him back or whatever. Just tonight, this one game, 8 shots, there's a bottom line on that. That's too few. And so whether that's Jokic and company, Malone, Porter himself, all of the above, like that guy had to get more shots up tonight.
One thing we say is that when Mike gets it going, Yoke looks for him. Like, Yoke loves, like, oh, he's on fire. But another thing that happens is Mike is on fire until he's subbed out. And then when he subbed in, it's almost as if it never happened.
Right.
And I do think there's something to, like, hey, let's see. I don't know. Maybe he's still on fire. Let's run some plays. Why don't you think they went to him? Like, Yoke took 32 shots tonight. You have to try to take 32. That doesn't happen, like, naturally.
Yeah, I mean, my big thing was the second quarter, actually. Because the third quarter, he gets the ball again after not touching the ball in the second quarter, and he hit more shots, which, to your point, like, that's actually kind of rare.
Right.
It's like, oh, he's still hot tonight. You should go find him the ball. Again, clutch time is one thing. Like, I'm kind of okay with them living and dying by the pick and roll. I mean, Mike wasn't super open or whatever. But to me, it was the second quarter where it's, okay, things are drying up. The bench doesn't have anything. You can probably throw Porter out there. Like, he can't miss right now. And it just seems like it's okay if he forces a shot sometimes. And tonight was one of those times for me.
My big takeaway is I don't think that this game means anything because it's just a regular season game. Like, they get their guys back. There's a lot of things that could have made this game weird and I think did end up making this game weird. But Dev's kind of right in that we can't unsee it. Because as we were talking before we go live, whenever Tatum has a 9 of 32 game, whenever he has one of these stinkers,
Once or twice a month,
you always say that Jokic would never line. You know, like it's this idea of like the cool thing about Jokic is he never has those nights. If he's off, he goes to something else. He goes to table setting and this or that. This one doesn't mean anything, and the takeaways, we're not going to get too carried away with them. But it's weird to see it's possible. This is to me, almost like that game 3 against Utah, where when it happened, you were like, I just did not think it was possible for Jokic to get dominated in a game by anyone, let alone Rudy Gobert. And then tonight, this is the same thing. I don't think it was possible for Jokic to force 32 shots and not make any of them, especially all the bunnies down the stretch. So now I almost feel, what's the word I'm saying? Like I'm not pure anymore or something. You know what I mean? Like I used to be innocent. Now I'm in the real.
It's like the first time you see your parents make a mistake.
Yeah. You're kind of like, oh man, I can't believe
you guys
this. This is
right
wild.
Every time.
This is wild. It's a whole new world.
The only thing I would say is that Jokic has a far higher hit rate than my parents, so I'm not worried. I'm not worried about it. He's actually never wrong. Yeah.
That's the thing is he never is like that bit wrong, and now he is once, and you'll always be like, Jokic's never like that except for that one time.
Yeah,
and that doesn't have
the
same
biggest
ring.
thing about it is like he's known for his efficiency, like not missing any shots. He took 32 shots, and it was the most misses he's ever had because
by a lot.
He's taking so many shots. He never misses. He never does this. And on top of that, it's like where he's missing from. It was his bread and butter. It was his shots. Like it was his spots that he gets to. He went to the free throw line only 2 times.
Right.
But it wasn't like he was getting fouled the entire time. It wasn't like he was getting hammered or anything. It just was not his night where he usually destroys. If he has a regular night right here, this would have been one of the most insane stat lines. But he misses every single shot where we have to like take it, for what it is. Because if you just look at the numbers, they're going to say, oh, he had another triple-double.
Nah, they're not though. They're gonna look at
You have to see that because the field goals attempted. You have to like see what he actually did, and this was a bad night for him.
I wonder if the lack of foul calls is getting in his head a little bit.
It is.
We always talk about Nikola Jokic being immune from the outside noise. We know that's not entirely the case after what we've learned from how the MVP conversation last year seeped into the locker room, and Jokic heard about that, and it seems like it affected him some down the stretch of last year. But I just wonder if like that's something that's being talked about within the team, and it's something that's on his mind now. And like Dev said, just 2 free throw attempts tonight. Didn't get to the free throw line in the first half. Didn't get to the free throw line until the fourth quarter. And I've got to think maybe in the back of his head he's just like trying to play less ethically than he used to, and it's just something that's taking up a little bit of his brain right now, and it's usually something that he's not thinking about at all. And I've just got to wonder if that's on his mind at all.
I think that this is a very good point because I do think that is it. And what did he shoot tonight? 2 free throws. He goes 2 of 2 from the foul line.
They were both in the fourth quarter.
32 field goal attempts, all that living in the paint.
And he's having this maybe inner battle of like, should I try to grift calls?
Right.
Or should I just keep doing what I'm doing? Should I like try to make this storyline go? Like, what should I do here? And he's
they'll call
never
it this time.
Yeah, and he's never thought about that before.
But what I was going to say though, maybe, but what I think is more to the point is Jokic has had an emotional maturity over the last few seasons that he did not have earlier on in his career. And so far, 22 games into this season, he actually looks more like 2020 Jokic than he has 21, 2, or 3. Like he's showing more emotion. He's been thrown out of a game. He's getting more frustrated. And I do think it probably has something to do with his feeling that he just gets a terrible whistle, which I think he actually does. But also some of this, though, I have to think is something else with you. Like he's still not handling as well. As much as I understand where that could come from, I still feel like his emotion is boiling over more than before. And, maybe that's part of it. Like tonight, I feel like, don't you guys feel like Jokic was on tilt a little tonight?
He was on tilt,
I do think this year, to me, and I'm entirely just projecting from a couch,
That's what we do.
Yeah. But I think it's, man, this shit is still happening. Like 16-4. we proved ourselves. I still have to grift and beg for more than 2 free throws. And I do think this year, Jokic does have these little stubborn pockets, like what Wind was talking about, where I think he's like, I'm going to take that same shot from that same spot and just show them that it was a foul again.
It's called a not, for sure.
Yeah, it was a foul last time, it was a foul this time, and I'm just going back to it. And I think tonight we saw that maybe as much as ratcheted up as much as it's ever been.
That 3 in particular at the very end of the game was a total not 3 where it's like, yo, your jumper's not going, your touch is clearly off.
Oh, yeah.
And he's like, you know what I'll do? Dribble backwards and launch a 3. You're like, that ain't going in.
By
Come
now,
on.
we know a reason he takes threes is because he's not getting calls inside. We know that, I think.
But tonight was the one where I was like, hey, you don't have to take that three. Like, the team can find a better look.
So the thing that's weird about it is if Jokic was having the off night and that was the only thing here, like we would probably just chalk it up to okay, bad shooting. But it was that he was on tilt, and it was that Michael Porter clearly had it going and didn't touch it. When you put all of those things together, it's like Jokic's this great engine and this great decision maker. And tonight he took 32 shots and missed 23 of them. That seemed like bad decision making. He had these moments of bad decision making, and even if you don't think it was bad decision making, isn't there a way to get a guy who's on fire more shots? Like, isn't that part of your job as the engine to be like, you know what? Let's run this one.
And
Let's
he
do
has
something.
before.
Yeah.
A couple games ago,
But
Mike
not
was on
tonight.
fire, and he looked for him every time down.
Especially with the type of passer that he is and the type of attention that he brings. He could have easily like set the table for him to get that going or for other guys to get involved, but especially Michael Porter Jr., who had it going on. Jamal came back. He kind of had it going on offensively, and this was like, I'm going to just put the team on my back in a situation that he did not have to. Like, it has called for Jokic to have to put the team on his back. It's called for him to have to take every single shot, and he's delivered time after time. This one, he just did not deliver. So it does feel wrong being on this end of it because you've seen this story so many times where it went the opposite way.
Have you ever seen that movie Pleasantville? You've probably seen it. You never seen Pleasantville? Nobody's seen it?
No, the only
Remind me.
Pleasantville I know is like the Dr. Pepper commercials.
I think it's called Pleasantville.
That's Fanville.
I know.
You guys don't know it's all in black and white. You know, there's the basketball team they never miss. Have you never seen this one?
I don't think I have. No.
Nobody's seen
Never
this movie?
miss. It's
Pleasantville.
a basketball movie.
Yeah, well, because like in black and white, it's like a Leave It to Beaver-esque world that they live in, and then the guy from the outside world joins it and taints it because it was a perfect place.
Was that a young Toby
Black
Maguire?
and
Young
white?
Toby Maguire.
I haven't
Oh,
seen
it's
that.
actually a pretty
How
good
old are you?
movie. It was an
Yeah.
important movie for what year was it? I feel like
98. Yeah.
all right, so that is a little before your guys'
All right,
time.
keep
I
going.
was 5.
But there's so as like badness gets introduced into the world, the like impurity things start happening that never happened. And one of his the team never misses a shot, and all of a sudden a guy misses one, and they're all like, "What?
Right.
What has happened?"
That's
Yeah.
exactly
And someone was
what
like, "I think this is what it means. You can't make them all," or something like that.
Right.
And that's what it felt like. Like impurity was entered into the world, and we had to watch Jokic struggle. And it's like, what?
That's
That's
great.
This is inaccurate.
It did feel so bizarre.
Bro, it didn't feel normal. It did not feel natural, and then it was very weird. Let's take a break. On the other side, we got to get into other things. And there were positives. We got to get to conspiracy theories. We got to get to a Bet365 top 5. We got some stuff on the other side.
Guys, when you sign up for Bet365, which is never ordinary, and you use code DNVR365, you can choose between 2 offers. You can get a first bet safety net of $1,000, or you can bet $5 and get $150 when you sign up. That's only when you use code DNVR365. Download the Bet365 app, sign up with code DNVR365. We also have really cool custom DNVR bets on there. Sometimes you'll see them right when you open the app. They got specific market boosts as well. So if you're in Denver and betting, you might get Jokic boosted to get a triple-double. That did happen again tonight. Other Nuggets, Broncos, Avs bets along that same line too. So make sure to download the app. It's what we bet on. It's what we get all our odds off on during the pregame show when Dev gives out his winners. So make sure to download the Bet365 app. Use code DNVR365 when you sign up. You can choose between both those offers I talked about. It must be 21 plus and physically located in Colorado. Please gamble responsibly. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call or text 1-800-GAMBLER.
I got to run some chores tomorrow. I'm going to find some time in between those chores to run over to Primo Hoagies.
You have to run some chores or errands?
I have to run some errands, do some chores, but I'm
Okay.
going to run to Primo Hoagies at some point while I do those chores and run those errands. I like to go to Primo Hoagies because it's not just enough to have a sandwich. I prefer a hoagie. It's not just enough to have a hoagie. Please make it Primo. Only made with the highest quality Thumann's meats and cheeses, sliced fresh to order and served on Primo's award-winning seated rolls. With locations both in Denver and Centennial, you can order party trays in advance if you want to cater, and you can order online at primohoagies.com. Use code DNVR for $2 off a Primo-sized hoagie when ordering online. Not just a hoagie, folks. It's Primo.
You guys, my buddy, you guys know Daman Rangula? You guys know a Laker fan? Hilarious. He's hilarious.
Our guy.
My guy. He just sent me this. Kale, go ahead and cue it up.
I'm not ready for this.
I feel like I know what this is,
Oh,
knowing
no.
Daman.
Oh, no. It's rough. It's rough.
I feel like I know exactly what this is going to be.
Oh, no.
The hell is
That's the most disgusting thing I've ever seen.
That was not what I thought it was going to be.
Jokic had a Westbrook-esque night tonight. That was a Westbrook-esque triple-double. Look at that cursed image.
I hate that
That's
so much.
uglier than the game that Yoke had tonight. That is
the game he had. That's who had the game tonight.
You shouldn't be able to do something like that.
Yeah.
No, the future is weird.
That's not right.
That he just made that somehow and sent it over to be cursed.
For the first
image.
time, I'm with the downvoters. They're right.
You know what? we deserve these ones.
Yeah.
You guys, Yoke's not alone. There have been other players who have had rough shooting nights. In fact, some of the all-time greats have. So let's get over it with a little Bet365, never ordinary, top 5 players ever to take
Never
32 shots and miss and only make 28% or fewer of them. Number 5, Kale, who do we have that has done this before? Jerry West.
The logo.
You know what they call him? Mr. Clutch. He has a
Not
game.
on that one night.
Not on that.
Hey, if there's one thing that Jerry West and Jokic have in common, it's not just this stat line, it's that neither of them are clutch at all.
You know? He went 10 of 36 one night against the Chicago Zephyrs. Right, who's number 4, Kel? Who else has had
Doing it against the Clippers might be worse.
Might be worse. Kevin Garnett, you
What?
guys. Kevin Garnett. He also has had
Was he
a
a
horrible
Timberwolf?
night. He was a Timberwolf. Let's find out. Where was he? Where is he at on this list? Oh, there he is. Kevin Garnett, 9 of 33 against the New Jersey Nets. 9 of 33.
I remember that
That
one.
is brutal.
All right,
The
what
team
else?
name was the Zephyrs.
The Zephyrs, the Chicago Zephyrs, man. We had to go way back on that one. All right, who else, Kale? Who else? James Harden. He was in this game. He's featured on the list. He has done this before. When did he do it?
His had to be in a meaningful time, like with Houston, like in the playoffs.
Probably
trying-
game
It
6
had
or
to-
game 7.
Do you remember when they did like miss like 30 like threes in a row? or
Yo,
something
James Harden
crazy
did
like
this
that?
in a win. 9 of 34. Why? Because he got to the line 23 times.
Well, it was actually an expected shot quality of 100.
Yeah, that's actually right.
That's what I heard about that game.
That's what happened. He got it in a win against Atlanta. All right, who else did this on the list? Allen Iverson?
Oh, no.
Oh, my gosh. You got to be kidding me. Even Allen Iverson
Where did
is
he do this, in
prone?
practice?
Dude, Reggie Jackson would never.
Allen Iverson had a loss. Man, he had this and a loss to Toronto, 88-95. That's a low-scoring affair.
Are
if
you
go-
telling me he had an Allen Iverson game? I can't
had an
believe
Allen
this,
Iverson
dude.
game, dude.
I would have told you.
Something we're discovering on this show is Vogt is an Allen Iverson
He hates
hater.
He hates the guy.
Jersey,
hater.
Philly. Is this what it is?
I'm so
Tell us what-
I'm
tell
so
us what the
Jokic
real
and
reason.
Porter
You're so yoke
efficiency
pilled?
pilled. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Number 1, Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant also has a game like this under his belt. So Jokic joins Kobe Bryant against the Spurs, 84-90. He was 9 of 33.
Some low scoring games because their best player missed every damn shot.
Low scoring game. They took every shot. Get out, clear out. I can't believe Yoke's with all those
I
jumpers.
never thought I'd see that.
Yoke
Dude,
joins
this is
that
a
great
black
company.
mark on his resume.
And Mike
really
was
is.
finally ready to drop 40. I'm so hurt.
Oh, this one is a painful one. Let's talk. Let's clear. All right, cleanse the palate here.
Okay.
There was something great that happened tonight. Peyton Watson got a new challenge. Paul George. Now, Peyton Watson had some good defense throughout this game, but that stint in the fourth quarter, I'm telling you,
Yeah.
like, it's not just that he was, challenging him, this, that. Like, you watch the moves. Paul George is shifty. He's got great footwear. He has some of the... Paul George might have the best bag in the NBA when you just talk about, like, fundamentals and everything. And Peyton was just never got shook. He was somehow hip to hip with him the whole time. So much so that Paul George quit. He was like, it's not my matchup tonight.
Yeah.
That was, in my opinion... Peyton Watson, we just did the upside thing yesterday. That guy, man, is unbelievable. It is not crazy to compare him to Herb Jones, Jaden McDaniels. He has that in him in very short order.
This has been the week of Peyton Watson, I feel like.
Kind of has.
Man.
Kevin Durant holds him to 1 of 10 shooting without a field goal in the second half. De'Aaron Fox.
Locked up.
Malik Monk king shot, I think it was 1 of 9 or 1 of 10 with him as the primary defender. And then tonight, man, just another great defensive performance on Paul George. And it just feels like more and more, game by game, even minute by minute, it kind of feels like his game is maturing.
Yeah.
I feel like you're
defensively.
even offensively, man, he had a couple nice decisions in transition where he just like made the right play, dumped the ball to Christian Brown for a dunk on a fast break.
True.
It just seems like the game is slowing down for him. Every minute that he's out there, every game that he's out there, it feels like he's more just comfortable on offense as well. But defensively, he's been amazing this week.
Yeah, I mean, he has all the tools to be like a great defender, and you're starting to see it come together. Like, you don't need him to score every single time, and I'm glad that he's starting to own that part of the whole process, because he could go into like in and out of these pockets of like, I'm just going to lock in on this guy who was, one of the best in the world at this. Like, He's switched on to De'Aaron Fox, one of the toughest guard, in the entire NBA. Like, he's just difficult to stay in front of, and he was able to do it with speed. Paul George is one of the smoothest in the NBA, and he showed the size, the strength, and then also the speed. And you just see it in these small stints. Like, you want him to just put it together for longer stretches, but at least you see the tools. You can see he has what it takes to put this, to keep it all there. So they have something very special there, and I'm glad that he's able to learn on the fly. Like, you got to be high on what you're seeing from him right now, because if he continues to get better on that end of the floor, the sky's the limit for him.
The Paul George matchup, to me, it requires a lot of discipline, and Peyton is so disruptive and chaotic. But the way I was holding my breath for Paul George to get him with a pump fake or just catch him in an overzealous moment. And there was, no matter how tenacious or how much he got after it, there was a final layer of composure to the defense that I was so impressed with. To not foul him a ton, to not really completely lose him, while also being so committed to contesting every jumper. There's Paul George, we've gotten so many side of the backboard jokes off over the years. Basketball gods have been great to us. But the one-on-one smooth, the guy's unbelievable. And he's
one of my favorite players, honestly, to watch, guys, because of how fundamentally sound he is.
So, there's been a little Kawhi, there's been KD, there's been De'Aaron Fox, and there's been Paul George. These are different kinds of players, and for him to be able to pick all of them up says a lot.
I love your point about poise, because Christian Brown is the poised one, and he is poised. And even tonight, Paul George, when he gave up on Peyton Watson, just started getting the switch against Christian Brown. Like, all right, let me try this guy. And then he cooked him, and it was like, all right, there's levels to this. But Peyton, to your point, when you say that he is kind of grown up before our eyes and kind of coming into his own or whatever, I feel like that's part of it. Early on, Peyton, tiniest pump fake, he's going for it, whatever.
Yeah.
The fact that now he can have a game like tonight where he can just stay down, stay disciplined, and yet still contest shots, that does show fast growth from him on that end of the floor. And Fox, KD, Paul George, all three are different. I mean, KD and Paul George somewhat similar, but Paul George is strong. Like, if you told me he could guard KD, I'm like, yeah, they're both tall, lanky. I could see that. But Paul George, also tall, also long, but stronger, and he just stuck with him all, that entire fourth quarter. So to me, I look at that and I just, I think I'm all in on Peyton Watson. I just think that I'm over the hump of any sort of doubts. Now, I do have doubts about how quickly he can get there. We need to talk about his offensive game. There is Malone clearly trusts him more than at the start of the year, but only to a point. Right. Otherwise, he would have closed or something tonight. But I'm all in on like this guy is going to be great. At some point, he is going to be an elite defender, and I hope it's this year. I hope it's soon enough that by the end of the year he's already there, because right now, if he can do that in a game like this, he can do that in a playoff series when you need a stop against someone.
I'm all in too. He looks light years better than he did at the very beginning of the season. Don't
Yep.
you feel like he's
2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, whatever the Spurs game was?
He looks like a completely different guy now in terms of just his poise on defense, his poise on offense from the guy he was when the season started. He
Even
looks
his
different.
fluidity.
Yeah.
You know what I think a lot of it is? Obviously, he's seen himself succeed now in a handful of times in a row. But Malone rewarded him. He challenged him. Watson responded. And then Malone said, all right, man, here are fourth quarter minutes here and there. You know what I mean? Tight game. We need to stop. It's you tonight. And so I think there was an early gamble by Malone that I think is paying off, because I think he sensed that Watson was ready to take on some of the responsibility of this part.
Can I get into another silver lining?
Yeah, go for it.
I feel like there's been a shift in Michael Malone's philosophy and thinking when it comes to who he's playing off the bench, and specifically playing Peyton Watson and Julian Strawther.
Yeah.
And I think it happened after the Houston game. Like,
Yeah,
do you remember
the bad Houston game.
after the bad Rockets loss when they had 86 points, Peyton Watson got benched in that game after the first half. Julian Strawther also got benched in that game after the first half. And then Michael Malone said, yeah, I just told them I'm going to play different guys off the bench going forward.
Right. And then he didn't, like, thankfully.
Yeah, and then he didn't. But since then, there's been almost there's been a reestablishment of, yes, we're playing Peyton Watson this season. Yes, we're playing Julian Strawther this season. Julian Strawther was not good tonight.
No.
But he played the regular amount of minutes that a ninth man would.
Right.
So I just feel like there's been this doubling down from Michael Malone on playing specifically Peyton Watson and Julian Strawther when he could have gone away from them. And it feels like now his and Calvin Booth's visions for what this season is about with those two guys are matching up.
Yeah, I mean, that is a actual decision that he went with. And also, it builds some consistency. There are going to be, growing pains, like with seeing that. This is like the first time that they're consistently playing and getting those minutes that you want to rely on as a young player. And you don't, necessarily get that. There are going to be times that Strawther doesn't play. There are going to be times that he's going to go to Holiday and things like that. But he has made the decision to stick with this, whether it's good or bad. So that is a silver lining, because if you learn that early, later on, it's like, okay, now I know who I'm going to go to. But it's the decision to go with the young guys with the core that they already have. So like that is part of their rotation, and you're starting to see it early. So it was great to see them still be in it when everybody's healthy. Aaron Gordon's back. Jamal Murray's back in this game, and they still made that decision to go with them. That is a silver lining.
I hope they stick with it. We did a roundtable about what Murray return means for the rotation, and I think we all said we wouldn't be surprised to see Justin Holiday get squeezed, in part because I don't think he is as effective, by the way, with the bench unit as he is as a spot starter.
Definitely.
I mean, no kidding. Everyone is better when they play with Jokic, but he's such a perfect fit with one unit, whereas he's not much of a razor for the other. And then the best part about signing guys like Holiday is like you can play him in place of AG and then say, listen, man, we're going with the kids tonight. And I assume he's prepared for that. He talked about that when he signed here. So I hope they stick with it. Tonight it's going to be a bumpy road, and I just think we should buckle up for it, but it could be worth it.
All right, let's take a break on the other side. We still have to talk about Jamal Murray, who made his return, and how did he play? How did he change things? But first, I got to tell you guys, do you know who has missed the most shots? Actually, I should say this: who has taken the most shots while shooting under 28%? You laugh.
In the history of the world?
In the history of the NBA, at least, he has the number 1, the number 2, and the number 4 spot. A guy named Joe Fuchs. I'm not kidding. It's his name.
Was he on the
cursing.
Zephyrs?
He was on the Philadelphia Warriors.
New favorite player ever.
The worst one, he goes...
Bro, Will Chamberlain was taking all his shots. That's why. He's like, I got to get some up.
He went 13 of 55
In one game.
in one game against the Providence Steamrollers.
13 of 55. That's
13 out of
art.
55.
I'm sure they got steamrolled that
They
day.
got steamrolled.
That is
Sure,
insane.
yeah.
Joe Fox.
Joe Fox.
How
Really
do
had
you
a
spell
rough go.
that?
New favorite player
Is that
locked in.
PH?
Fulks.
Oh, folks.
How would you say it?
Folks.
Oh.
I like the way you said it.
It
Though.
was a perfect delivery, though.
Yeah.
Why would you read into that much? Now I just took it away. Like, it was Joe Fox. Joe Fox did that.
All right. There you go. Let's take a break.
Guys, Breckenridge Brewery, the official beer of DNVR, and the beer of the month here at the DNVR Bar is the Christmas Ale, $6. You can get one for $6 here at the DNVR Bar. Nothing brings in the Christmas spirit like a Christmas ale. You can get it here at the bar, $6 all month. If you don't know where to get Breck Brew, check out the Breck Brew Beer Locator on their website. Just type in your zip code, it tells you exactly where to get Breck Brew. If you're not a Christmas ale person, check out the Avalanche Amber Ale. Check out the Mile High City. Check out the Broncos Country Pale Ale, the Fun Slinger, the Juice Drop IPA, the Good Company Hard Seltzers as well. Breckenridge Brewery is the official beer of DNVR.
This guy
Looking
averaged,
up some more folk stats.
this guy averaged 16 a game for his career. Never shot better than 29%.
Legendary.
That's awesome, dude.
This dude, I'm sorry. 34%, but 32%. Yeah, this guy, unbelievable, man. Career 30%.
Jordan
Let's get up
Poole's
some
got a
tape.
picture on his locker.
I need some tape on this guy.
Jumpin' Joe, the Cuttawa Clipper. Having some fun over here.
Are you done, Win? I couldn't.
Keep going.
It's hard to tell when Adam is doing that. You might think you have everything you need for the winner. You might
He's
think
on
you
this
have all.
list a lot. There's 46 times it's been done. He makes up like
And
half.
Not,
I'm
not,
not
sin-
kidding.
not since folks.
He has 13 games where he took that many shots.
The
and shot
greenest,
worse.
the greenest light of all
But they
time.
didn't have the 3-point line, right? Like,
No,
he's
no.
just jacking
He was
up
just
close, missing every single shot,
This
bro.
dude
Like,
is unbelievable. He honestly makes up.
I bet you got to a lot of fights.
Was he padding his rebound numbers?
Let's check if they had rebound stats for this guy. They did not.
Well, you
New,
do that.
new not since folks just dropped.
Oh my god.
All right, take two on the read. You might think you have everything you need for the winner, but you probably forgot about
Google what
job
that looked like.
gloves. Sometimes you just gotta work
I know exactly.
when it's cold outside. Manual laborers, you already know this. Maybe you just have to change a tire. There's some yard work to be done or some outside work to be done. And you don't want to ruin your good gloves that aren't built for work, and you definitely don't want to take your ski gloves to go work in. You want to get your Hestra job gloves. And right now, fans can go to www.hestrajob.us and make purchases using code DNVRJOB. That's DNVRJOB. And if you do, get 30% off your next purchase. Anyone looking to supply their team with high-quality work gloves at a bulk rate can email Josh Jacobson at josh@hestrausa.com.
Alrighty. Alrighty. Jamal Murray made his return today, you guys. He goes for 23 points, 6 assists, 1 steal, 1 block. He was 10 of 18 from the field. He played 29 minutes, which is more than I
Wow.
kind of thought he would. I'll start over here this side. What'd you see from Murray tonight?
I thought he was largely pretty good in a return. I think crunch time is going to leave a sour taste in everyone's mouth, just how it went. And obviously, Murray and Jokic, it's that two-man game. They did have some success, but there was the one where Murray threw it wildly almost for the backcourt. That wasn't great. So that wasn't their best crunch time showing. I will say outside of that, Murray looked pretty good for a return. He hit some vintage Murray jumpers. He got a little spell there where he saw himself cooking and went to work. I'm gonna need to rewatch. I don't know if I have a good feel on how well he played defensively, but offensively that was a good return, I thought.
I thought he played well. He was cooking in the first half. He was talking trash to somebody sitting courtside too. He was going in the first half. But coming back from an injury, I felt like he played well. He was aggressive, looked to get into the paint, got to the rim a couple times, hit a couple threes. I don't think you can be mad about Jamal.
Yeah, I think it was a great game for him. Just because, first off, he got to play 29 minutes after coming back from not just an injury, but he had to take an additional, it was like an additional injury that happened in the middle of that. Then on top of that, I felt like he tried his best to get Jokic going in this game, where he's trying to find the pocket passes and trying to work the middle just to get him involved, and he was just dropping, the passes. But that is opposite. We've seen this Jamal that would have been like, hey, you don't got it tonight, I'm going to take every single shot. So I feel like he kind of just like let him do his thing and was trying to work him. Even on that play that was like the backcourt turnover, he tried to get him to go to the three-point line or just get him to that spot where he just forced it, where he probably could have got him going himself. But it's great to see him back out there and good enough to play like extra minutes. In the first game back, you have a matchup against James Harden. Go work it, and he decided to compete where we saw him in Fleury.
I felt like he had an encouraging amount of competitiveness to him, because I don't know if he could have come out tonight and kind of eased his way into it or whatever. And now we're talking about 10 games before Murray gets back in shape or this, that. He looked like he wants to make up for lost time, so to speak. He really went out. And then in the fourth quarter, I thought defensively he competed. He's undersized against Kawhi Leonard or Paul George, but he had a couple possessions where he did a really good job of guarding as best he could. And it was noteworthy that this is a team, every team has a different style of how they're going to attack you. We talked about early on, they would try to ISO Michael Porter. Michael Porter can guard the ISO. He knows how to use his length. Pick and roll's where he struggled. This team doesn't like to pick and roll. They want to ISO, and they're like, you know what, Murray's too small. So if the Nuggets did play the Clippers and there was crunch time in a series like that, I do think that Murray would be the target. But tonight he competed in a way that you're like, they're going to score on him, but he's also going to get some stops.
Also, those are the same shots they miss sometimes. And when the Nuggets came back in that bubble series, I know that's forever ago, one of the highlights was Murray's post defense in those 3 wins, particularly against Kawhi. So as far as things that the other team really wants to do, I honestly think Denver is okay with that. Denver's comfortable with that. I thought he competed. Yeah, I didn't feel too much like I was watching a guy who just came back tonight. That was like my biggest overarching takeaway.
Right.
He set Jokic up on a lot of easy bunnies that he just missed.
It's so true.
He was setting him up all game.
He should have had 13, 14 assists tonight just off Jokic alone, man. I will say I do think Friday night's going to be a party, though. The Nuggets they have to be. This one has to kind of stick in their craw a little bit. Don't you think? Don't you think this one's like a frustrating loss that you get home and it's like, all right, we got to beat the... poor Rockets, man. You don't have a win on the road.
They better know all the Rockets plays by now.
Especially for Jokic. He's going against Şengün. I really do think he takes that one personal. And on top of that, you're just coming off of your worst game. Good luck.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Did you guys see, by the way, Şengün on the... is it Paul George? Yeah, he was on Podcast P. They talked very briefly about Jokic, but he did say that Jokic... he says all Euros kind of have a thing where they look out for each other or whatever, but Jokic has given him some advice and, little things here or there. I just think it's cool.
I love that.
I love how much Şengün looks up to him.
I love how Jokic's 2 favorite bigs are Şengün and Ayton, who he has personally given 2 of the worst whoopings he's ever handed out in his life.
It's pretty funny. Let's talk quickly about the offense of Peyton Watson and Christian Brown, because... Yeah, Reggie Jackson, DeAndre Jordan, pick and roll. There's a base offense to be had there. Julian Strawther right now, not necessarily making the shots. I mean, he was 0 of 2 tonight, and he had good looks. He needs to find a rhythm for him to stay in, because as much as I like him and the way he reads the court and everything, you're a shooter. You got to make shots. But Christian Brown and Peyton Watson, to me, are going to be spending a lot of time together off the bench. And they're both right now tough. Offensively, they don't quite have their shots aren't there. I think they both have a game to be developed off the dribble over time, but I don't think that is coming around the corner. And with Peyton, I don't want him focused on it. I want him focused on this defense, because you got to build that foundation first. That being said, what I saw tonight was offense is going to be hard when those guys are on the court.
Yeah, and I don't know if it has to be hard. If you got Jamal Murray out there, and he's playing with the second unit, they should be able to score, I feel like. If you've got Reggie Jackson even playing pick and roll with that second unit, there's a scoring punch there. Scoring is going to be difficult at times, but you can't count on those 2 guys to score. You can count on what Christian Brown did tonight. He had 8 points.
That's what you can count on. Yep.
Yeah, that's fine. Like that's what is expected out of him. Peyton Watson, if you get anything from him on offense in the scoring column,
but it's
that's
not
a bonus.
But it's not about his points. It's about can the bench score when he's out there. And that first stint with the bench in the second quarter, like you didn't feel like they were going to score. You're kind of like,
I put a lot of that on Jamal Murray, to be honest.
Yeah, maybe.
Like if DeAndre Jordan is out there, and if you're not running pick and roll every possession, what are you doing? You know,
I agree
what
with
are you
that.
doing if that's not the answer? Like that's why DeAndre Jordan is out there. A big reason, at least, why he's out there. You've got that at your disposal, and a big problem in that first half stint for the bench was they just had no idea what they were doing out there on offense. And yeah, I mean, some of that's probably Jamal Murray coming back his first game. You got to reintroduce him and get that chemistry again. But if Jamal Murray is going to play with the bench, like he's got to carry the scoring.
Yeah, but that's like the push right now, and what Denver is trying to get back to is finding that identity of just being a straight defensive team where they can get that going there. Because like you said, they are going to have the Jamal Murray. They are going to have Reggie Jackson, who can, generate offense, who can get it going on that end of the floor. And they want to score first. Like, really, they want to score. So it's going to be on Brown and Peyton Watson to get those opportunities with, like, defense or, like, steals or getting out in transition and scoring. And we've seen them do that at times. The thing about it is how confident they are on defense, and it seems like they do have a tandem on that end of the floor, like especially tonight, where they know what to do. They have to find that chemistry on offense too and try to get themselves going. And I think that that's part of the maturation process, especially from Peyton Watson, because he just seems so far from that. But it's because he needs to stick to that defense. So I don't want him to have to explore and try to find the offense.
Me neither.
Your bread and butter is defense. Stick to that, and then everything else is going to work out. So as long as you have those scores in that second unit, you're fine. I don't think it's going to come with both of them on the floor at the same time.
Wynn did point out, though, Murray was with that unit in the first half, and it made no impact. In fact, it was one of the worst stints we've seen all year from a bench. Like, usually Malone doesn't leave him out there when you blow a 15-point lead. They had a 15-point lead. They blew 15 points. One of my big concerns with Murray is that traditionally he hasn't taken over those staggered lineups.
Yeah.
Is this a tough lineup for him? I mean, honestly, like Peyton.
I mean, he's actually never thrived in these lineups.
I know.
right?
We talk about it every year, and he's never great as the first option with the second unit.
I get why they try. I mean,
I
really,
get it too. I get
the
the
most
thinking.
successful look this year, I think, has been KCP, but I don't know if that's just
He was out there tonight
the way it's worked out, or I mean,
when they panicked in the second half.
there is a little bit of the last time Jamal was out with the bench, by the way, this year when it was working, he was playing with Zeke. This was, I think, his first time playing with DeAndre this year. And I just think Wind is right that it was weird that there were no pick and rolls, because if that's why if Jordan's on the floor, that's what you got to do. Because you're probably getting torched on the other end if he's on the floor. And if that group's not getting stops, then they're definitely not going to score. So it did sort of feel like that unit combined with that approach was futile from the jump tonight. But I also think there were 6 games where we really liked the way Jamal with the bench looked. So is this just a horrible game, or is this what it's going to look like with Jamal? I think we need
the first game back.
Yeah, I think this is one area where we can say, okay, this dynamic needs a little more time. Obviously, the bench as a whole, we're going on several years where it's just not good enough.
Anybody else that you think deserves a mention? I mean, Aaron Gordon's like the only guy we haven't really talked about. We briefly mentioned him. 8 points, 6 rebounds.
The only other thing I've got from tonight is I was a fan of trying out DeAndre Jordan. I think he is a guy that, should play definitely when the situation calls for it. I don't like that Zeke is buried now and just out of it completely. I don't think DeAndre Jordan should be an every game rotation player.
Right.
I think he definitely should be used if Zeke's not playing well, if it's the right matchup. Like, we've seen that DeAndre Jordan can be really effective still in spots, but he can't be your backup center every game, right? Like, we can't just bury Zeke Naji at this point.
Yeah, I think that DeAndre Jordan should be in those situations, like where you have 2 bigs or you have a bigger guy that Zeke can't. But in these type of situations, that was not a matchup that called for DeAndre, even though he just played so well against them. But you give him some like leeway. You want to put Zeke in as well, or maybe try them both together. But yeah, you don't bury them completely. But that was a tough one. I really think that's hard because of how well DeAndre just played against that team.
I'm sure that factored into it. He just balled out against the Clippers, so you run him back.
Yeah. Do you think, though, we'll see him?
Zeke?
Yeah, like Friday, for example.
The Rockets? Yeah.
So you think that he might get back out of the doghouse? Do you think so, Dev?
I think they maybe put them together. I think that they... I don't think they're going to just
That
go
might be worse, man.
direct.
That might be worse.
DeAndre has earned enough time to play. I think that they want to play him for a little bit. And maybe it's for motivation to get Zeke back into it. Like I do think he's going to get his opportunity because I think they want to build around that, second unit.
Well, I'll tell you what, the schedule becomes pretty favorable here for the Nuggets coming up. They're home
time.
Well, home against Houston. They do go to Atlanta, where they traditionally have a very difficult time.
That's a loss.
Jokic, if you go out before that game,
I know.
Dude, Bogdanovich is going to pour it down his throat.
You're right. Gosh, dang it.
He probably already put the call in.
Every city
Make
that
sure
has a
we're
Balkan
stocked with
person.
Rakia for this night.
Oh, man.
He already put the call in.
You're
yeah,
so
sorry,
right.
Yoke. We can only have dinner before the game again. That's
Yeah.
so crazy.
They do get a couple nights off going into that game for whatever it's worth, so maybe go out.
That might be worse.
It might be worse. Then they're in Chicago. Then they come home and they've got. Well, but there's no rest. They get in back to back. All you can do is go to bed. Then you have Brooklyn at home, Oklahoma City at home. That's our takeover, by the way. Next week, I think we have like 8 tickets left.
Yeah.
They told me not even to mention it because if you want to go to the takeover next Saturday, I was supposed to not mention it. Because he's like, we're gonna sell it out. We're gonna sell it out. Don't even mention it. But I'm mentioning it right now. So if you do want, if you want to get in on the takeover, there's 8 tickets left.
That means you need to hurry up.
Means you gotta hurry up.
We're not
right
even
now.
supposed to be talking about it.
What? I'm not supposed to mention it.
Scrub that from the internet, Kale. Scrub that from the
They told
internet.
me not to mention it. Hands up here.
And then they have Dallas, and I'm telling you guys, we are only a week. And we're only 9 days away from Yokemas.
Oh, that's what it is.
I'm telling you, Yoke's grouchy, you guys.
I might get a haircut for that.
He's grouchy. Oh, yeah. R.I.P. haircut Yoke. Gets a haircut, plays the worst game of his entire life. Never to be mentioned again.
Please look at the latest Carol comment before you leave this show.
What do we have?
I saw Pleasantville and it was good. That one's for you. That's a comment for you, big fella.
That's right. That's what I'm talking about. All right. Let's take our last break on the other side, a little around the association.
Guys, when you get hurt, give Backus and Schenker a call. They help with all kinds of injury cases where you weren't at fault. If you were in like a car accident, you got hit by a motorcycle, if you're just walking down the street, got hit by a truck,
Ow.
give Backus
Kelly
and
Oubre?
Schenker a call. Well, allegedly.
I mean, I'm not going to question it.
They've won over $1 billion for their clients. They've got neighborhood offices in Denver, Aurora, Englewood, and Fort Collins. 30 lawyers on staff. More than 100 people working for Backus and Schenker. They're all working to win your case. That's what they do. That's what they've been doing for more than 25 years in Colorado. So give them a call, 222-2222 to find out if you have a case for free. Backus and Schenker wins.
I just realized I hit my Yoke triple-double bet.
Oh, you asshole.
That's the dirtiest money.
That is the dirtiest money.
Jamal Murray also hit his over.
We hit our bets tonight, didn't we?
Yeah, the Clippers bet.
The Clippers bets did well.
We did well on the other side of things.
On the other side of it. Look at Spence was just on the TV.
Real
All right.
quick before our final segment here, the best roofers in Denver have joined the DNVR roster. We're talking about Red Hawk Roofing, quality materials, decades of experience, quick response time, and my favorite part, huge DNVR supporters.
That's my favorite part too.
Why would you make small talk with other laborers who are like Lakers fans? You know what I mean? That's ridiculous. This way you can go outside, see them working on your roof and yell, "How do we fix the bench?" That's the best thing to do with your roofers. If you're looking for a new roof over your home or business, be sure to check out Red Hawk Roofing at redhawkroofing.com and tell them DNVR sent you.
There you go. Joe Folks in the Hall of Fame.
Stop.
So the chat is saying he invented the jump shot.
Yeah. They're having one. He's
Gotta
in,
start somewhere.
He's in the Hall of Fame. He was the scoring champ in 1946 or
So this is
1947.
him, huh?
That was
There
a
he
down
is.
year for the
That's
league.
Joe Fox.
I'm not sure exactly which one he is. Here, though, you guys are going to love this stat. His season where he was an all-star,
The knee pads.
he had 1,557 field goal attempts and 25 assists.
On the year?
1,557
Dude, what a
shots.
bona fide hooper.
We should make a new Mike, but it's the ghost of Joe.
Ghost of
Le-
Joe telling him
to
it.
shoot the rock.
Just shoot
What
it.
a hooper, man.
Died tragically. He was killed. All right, let's get
Jeez.
to some around the association, shall we? Who's it
Rough.
presented by, Kale?
No one tonight.
No,
Oh,
no one
nobody?
tonight?
Come
Nobody's
on.
presented this one? Unbelievable. Dev, what do we have?
Crazy.
Run through these.
I'm trying. It is loading very, very slowly. It's so many.
Did it sneak
baskets.
up on you with that ad break?
No,
Going
no.
for-
It's actually
this
just the
whole
wheel.
time?
It's
All
the
right.
wheel.
You want me to take
Wheel
over
death.
for you?
Yes.
Guys, this is going to be a bummer of an around the
Oh,
association.
Jesus.
Tonight
sick.
sucked.
Not even sponsored by anybody.
The Warriors were getting killed tonight by the Trailblazers, and they stormed back to win it late, 110 to 106.
I'm shocked.
Yeah, it was pretty lame. Steph had 31. Shaedon Sharp had 26. The Mavericks, you guys listen to the score. 147 to 97 over the Jazz. They won by 50. Luka Doncic had 40 points, 10 rebounds, 11 assists. He had 29. He had a triple-double in the first half and then barely put anything
This
together
should
in
have
the
been
second.
us tonight.
I can't believe that they're whipping ass like that right now. That is a beating.
You know
Luka's
what? I'm-
powerful.
dude, no,
Luka's
Jazz.
powerful.
Yeah, they
right
put.
now.
I'm telling you, the Mavs are the team that is going to look like the best team in the NBA against the bad teams.
They're just Joel Embiid, but the whole
the whole
team.
team is Joel Embiid.
Sure.
That's exactly what it is. The Rockets, where were they playing at tonight? Home. They got the win. Rockets 110, 101.
There you
Simple for
go.
them.
They beat the Thunder. That's a pretty good win right there. Aaron Holiday game high? This can't be right. Hold on. Let me open up
He's
the box
ramping
score.
up for a game against his brother.
Dylan Brooks, technically, the game high, 23 points.
Dylan Brooks.
Dylan Brooks. Dude, this is the weirdest day, man. This is the weirdest day. Wacky Wednesday for all you dads out there. Bulls beat the Hornets 111 to
Is that
100.
something you dad said?
Are they? It's a book from Dr. Seuss.
Oh.
Bulls, I think, have won 3 in a row now without Zach LaVine. Can I tell you guys?
That I'm sneaky worried about the Bulls game.
Oh, crap. Hopefully he's back by then. I'm telling you, I've always told you this, that I thought Zach LaVine is one of my least favorite, like, loser players.
Yeah.
I just think he plays losing basketball.
Not his guy.
Not my guy. He's like the opposite of my guy.
And that's why the Lakers should trade for him.
Oh, man. Let's do it.
He's out for like 2 to 3
Yeah, he's
more
out
weeks.
like 3 weeks.
Yeah, and on top of
He's
that,
out trade demand 3 weeks.
I was just about to say, what are the Lakers going to do?
Yeah.
What do they do?
They're probably looking at the Bulls like, Bulls are kind of good without him. I don't know. He's just D'Angelo Russell. You know, like they're like, we got a new D'Angelo. Timberwolves get the win, 102-94 over
Make
the
it
Spurs.
stop.
16 points, 20 rebounds for Rudy Gobert. Ooh, you guys want to hear a take right now?
No, can you read Rudy Gobert's plus minus in that close win?
This was a close win, 102-94. Yeah, kind of a little bit. Rudy Gobert was a plus 31.
That's
What the
thank
hell
you.
happened?
Stop.
Thank you.
He's been going crazy.
What
He
are
really
they-
has been going insane.
Dude, all right, here's the take. Number 1 in the Western Conference, Rudy Gobert's team. You know who's struggling out east and can't get any help from his big man? Big man's not developing. Donovan
that?
Mitchell's Cleveland Cavaliers.
Oh.
Everybody upset it. Mobley, man, he just not delivering for me, letting Mitchell down out here. Meanwhile, Gobert number 1 in the West. I'm just telling you guys, I think that that little rivalry, remember those guys didn't like each other? They had to split up.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
Donovan Mitchell might have been wrong. I thought you guys were going to find that spicier a little more.
I wasn't sure where you were going
Yeah,
with
that's
it.
where it was. Nets got the win on the road. They went to Atlanta. They did not party. Mikal Bridges had 32 points. You guys saw 42 over the weekend?
He's real good.
He is really good. And then the Heat beat the Raptors. I got to open this one up. 112 to 103. They win in Toronto. How'd my guy Jaime Jaquez do? You guys, another one of my guys. 32 minutes from Jaime Jaquez tonight, 15 points. He was a minus 16, which was pretty rough in a win. It's my guy. You guys don't. You can have guys too.
We do, and
We
then you just
try.
take them from us.
Yeah.
Oh, did I take Jaime Jaquez from
It's
you?
hard,
Is that your guy? Did I take him from you?
They're like, which swing am I allowed to use on the playground, bro?
Everybody's having fun. Grizzlies 116-102 over the Pistons. Desmond Bane 49 points. Desmond Bane went for 49.
Pistons lost again.
The Pistons are the worst team of all time.
18.
They're horrible.
They are the worst
I
team
think
of all
the
time.
record
We need to send a
for-
Colangelo to Detroit.
I think the record for single season losing streak is 26.
It's in play.
Oh,
It's in play.
man.
That's very much
They
in
should
play.
go get
Bro,
it.
the
They should go
pressure is
get
going to
it.
be so high.
I know.
That's going to start this. I feel bad for those
If
players.
only they had a well-paid coach.
Monte, man, you got to save the day. The Cavs
That's not happening.
get the win 121-111. So tonight, everybody, even Donovan Mitchell got a little bit of a win on here. Paolo Banchero, he went for 42 points in a loss. That's shameful.
Everyone but us somehow gets to enjoy tonight.
Everyone but us. Did you guys see that Mo Wagner story about how he
Yeah.
accidentally talked shit to KD and then
Yeah.
KD quote tweeted it
love
today?
that story.
KD, man, can be likable, you know?
Dude, Katie would be the most likable player ever if he didn't go to the Warriors.
Yeah, and then the Nets and then the Suns. Like, he's really
Yeah.
made himself unlikable with those choices, but he's a likable dude for sure. Super chat scale? Sickos only.
Wow, it's a lot of super chats. Felix Tannenbaum, free MPJ.
Amen, man. Let Mike cook.
Someone retweeted.
Please.
Yo, Yoke needs to apologize to Mike. Honestly, this is the first time I think that it really needs Yoke
Yeah.
needs to be like, yo, my bad, dude. I let you down
Dude,
tonight.
Mike
They
in the
need
corner.
to enjoy some Rakia together.
Mike in the corner in the final 5 minutes tonight. He was just
On
like
and off
kicking
tonight.
rocks. He's like, they're not going to throw me the ball. Jeff Morton, Jokic chucking like prime Kobe and Mike going 7 of 8, not getting a shot after the third quarter. That's all you need to know about this game.
Jokic chucking like prime folks.
King of Thornton.
Nice wind.
Super chatting, man.
It was a
on-
very educational Losers Lounge. Hardwood
Hey, is this
paroxysm, Matt Moore.
or
I
somebody
think.
impersonating him.
Love that Vogt is sneaky saying he's looking forward to this because it's different from the usual. Yeah, they killed another team.
That's got to be mad.
That's
gotta be
for
mad.
sure, man.
You know what, Matt? You're right. It is. Sometimes you gotta flex those analyst muscles. You know, more for Matt
Whoa.
or Matt's
Oh,
imposter.
my goodness.
Aren't you in Vegas? Don't you have better things to do,
Obviously,
Matt?
man, he must. You know what? I know Matt had a good day at the casinos. Man. I know Matt had a good day. Hell yeah, Matt.
Matt took Dev's Clippers bets tonight.
He's like,
He
he's
follows it
rolling.
up. Do you know how much Rakia takes to get that man at size to shoot like that? Will there be manslaughter charges for whoever was out with them last night?
It's so true, man.
Oh,
I'm
man.
telling you, it had to have happened. Freaking Yoke.
Haley Keel. At least it was cool that we got Stephanie White on play-by-play, former elite WNBA player in 2023 WNBA Coach of the Year for Connecticut Sun. She's a champion. I didn't even know that.
Well, we were
up
listening to the
here.
altitude broadcast.
Well, that's why we didn't know. Super dope hip hop was shocked. The Nuggets +1.5, 14-2 versus the Clips since down 3-1 Western Conference semifinals. Was on Nugs money line hard. How did Vegas know Jokic would go 9 of 32? Nugs 4 of 5 when Jokic has 23 or more field goal attempts. Nugs 4.
You know
and
what?
5.
I think Yoke was, though, to be fair, Yoke was, I think, 8 of 23 in their last matchup.
Yes, he was.
So
He had a really bad shooting game in that last
Maybe
one.
we should give Zubat some
Zubats?
credit. Probably not.
crap.
I don't want
Dude,
to actually.
Zubac knows what he's doing, man.
He's Croatian, right? Subats?
Yeah.
Correct. 5555-ish. Side note, calling out my friend that took a parlay of Utah Spurs and Blazers all winning at plus 15,000.
With those
I
odds,
wanted
you have
him
to
not-
do it.
Was your friend Dev?
I wanted him not to do it, and he did it anyway.
I follow winners. I am not doing.
I know,
something
that's a
like
very
that.
undev type of thing.
Yeah.
That's like whenever they have the MVP odds and it's like Reggie Jackson at plus 500,000. You're like, why does he have odds? He's not, there's no chance.
Siobhan Kellen. Tilted Joker equals 22, 15, and 10. Nights like this allow us to appreciate how special it is to watch Joker night in and night out. Just think we could be stuck rooting for Devin Booker in closeout games.
Ooh,
Still
Yoke had a
undefeated at
Devin
home.
Booker-esque closeout
Oh,
game
he
tonight,
did,
man.
He did.
Dude, do you know how many bad Tatum games have to happen before I can talk again?
Man, this thing about Booker, though, by the way, is real. That game, like Booker is so, we praise him all of the players we hate and
We
teams
praised
we
him
hate.
all season.
We praise Booker the most, and then they have a serious game, and he's like, "Nope, I'm a facilitator." He would not shoot for some reason. You're
Yeah.
like, "Bro, what are you doing?"
Well, he is the point guard. So
Super dope hip hop. Jokic, LBJ, not top 18 in field goal free throw attempts per game. Every other All NBA player besides Halliburton gets way more free throw attempts per game than those two. Criminal, MVP, all time goats whistle. I agree with you.
I just don't know what to do about it, you guys. I don't
I
know.
don't either. Ty Teachify. Jokic shows us he is a human being and not a robot. With that reminder, hope us fans appreciate his consistent greatness and never take it for granted from now on. For real though, that is
Amen.
It's like this happens sometimes to other players. Maybe not this. I don't know. Haley Keel, reminder to watch NCAA women's basketball if you like ethical ball. CO Buffs, been in the top 10 all season. Point guard Sherrod is a straight killer.
Shouts to see you ladies.
I was watching Caitlin Clark before I came over here tonight.
She played tonight?
Yeah. Balled
She
out.
like broke a record, right?
She got 3,000 points.
Good college hoops happening in Colorado. Shout out the
In her career.
Rammies. The
Not
13 ranked Rammies in men's basketball got another win today, too. Siobhan Kellen, Joe Folks never retreats. He just attacks in the opposite
I
direction.
love that this
Yeah.
guy has become a legend, or was a legend, and we discovered him.
Character of the show.
Strive to have the mentality that Joe Folks had in every game.
Man,
Miss 1,000 shots.
He's a Hall
keep
of Fame.
shooting.
He's in the Hall of Fame, you guys.
Yeah, maybe because of that mentality.
He is a BAA champion
He was a
before the NBA.
he's a historic bucket getter.
what if MPJ had that mindset?
He's so jealous of
He
these-
would not be on the Nuggets.
Yeah.
Was he a bucket or was he a basket?
I think
peach basket.
according to the chat reading off Wikipedia, he was a bucket. Some guys shot one-handed jumpers, some guys shot their two-handed jumpers, but then Joe
No-handed?
he was just putting his riz on that, just like he was the first guy to make it look nice. That's what they were saying.
I know
I
that.
think you might be older than you think now, man. I don't know if you could use these kids' slangs.
Questionable use of Riz, but we'll let it slide.
There's there's more self-awareness in it than you think, just so you know.
Well,
I don't know what Riz means. Ben Baez.
Charisma.
I don't want to be a sicko. I just want to be happy.
dude, what is
Well,
that turkey?
on nights like tonight, you have to be a sicko.
Dude, we are happy. What do we?
We've had a good
hold on
run.
a second.
We're having a good
Hey,
run.
hold on a second. What do we care about the Clippers on Wednesday in December?
Yeah.
Still, come
Like
on.
we
what
already
do we
said,
care?
we're not going to remember anything from
The
this
Clippers
game.
are for sure like, hey, we did it, man. We know how to stop Yoke now, whatever. Like,
we finally
all right, that's the
Yeah, we
blueprint.
did
We
it.
just
Make
got to
him
force
shoot
him.
Daniel
fucking
Tice
40.
Jokic stopper?
Although, how is that guy just hanging out, available to play? Whatever. That's for another show.
When you've got a backup center rotation like the Nuggets do.
I know. Laking ball. So Jokic had a triple-double. Hey, Vogt, can you tell me how he shot again tonight? Yeah, he shot like Tatum. I had to troll. You do it to my guy Tatum all the time. All love. Hey, it's fair. It's fair, LB. I got to sit up here and take it today.
LB, huh?
That's my guy. Diz, Heat Nuggets. What is this? What is microwave?
Minimal effort, less effort than normal in that super chat. And I understand it tonight.
Totally appropriate.
Yeah, just not as enthusiastic about the whole
All right,
thing.
hit that outro
Just gets the
music first,
keywords
Cal.
in there.
The good thing about these late games is it's like past midnight by the time we're done. Wait, that's not
Is
good.
that
That's
good or
terrible.
bad?
That's horrible. I'm tired.
Well, we got another 8 o'clock one out of the way.
We did get another one. Actually, you know what? I know
Dev's
something.
checking
Real
them
time.
off
No,
the
no, no.
list.
I did this as well. They don't have one for like a month or something.
Yeah,
praise
they
the
don't
Lord.
have one for a really. I'm
been
telling you
having
guys, the schedule for the next month, and from us perspective, is very favorable. There's a lot of home games, a lot of early games.
There's
a
some
lot of-
5:30s
There's some
in there.
5:30s in
Let's
there,
go.
bro. I'm telling you, I'm with Dev. I did this exact thing.
It's
where I was
Jokic,
looking at
baby.
I was planning my sleep schedule until January, and I was like, oh, good night there. I'm gonna get a good night. You guys, thanks for hanging out with us. Hopefully, you feel better about this dumb game, and now we can all delete it from our memories forever. Final thoughts, anyone?
I can't wait to write about it.
Hey, in these type of situations, you just got to think, what would Joe Fucks do?
Amen.
He bounces back, man.
Good way to
Forget
think.
about the last shot.
So true, man. You
You
just
just
keep
keep shooting,
shooting,
man.
Just
Shoot or
keep
shoot.
shooting. All right, everybody, hit the like button. We'll see you.
I feel like Jokic needs to know about Joel. Fucks.
We all silly like the mayor.